this thing drives so much better. Whoa! Ah, well, we kind of got it bogged. Just that open diff. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're continuing work on the 440cc golf cart. So as you guys may notice behind me there, we've got a new torque converter belt drive for the golf cart. So my dad actually purchased that for me so we can keep getting content flowing. So huge thanks to him. But yeah, we're going to be whacking that on today and hopefully that'll sort out that slippage and burnt out clutch that's on there. And I'm really hoping that we can space it out and make that jack shaft still work. And I want to show you guys how we're going to drive the supercharger. So let's just jump into it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of that old centrifugal clutch. Now I'm just going to back that engine off and put it back, but you guys have seen that enough, so I'll just quickly do that. And then we'll start to bolt up that torque converter. All right, so there's the new torque converter, and this thing is beefy as. So as you can see, it really doesn't fit. So I'm just going to pop the exhaust off and try and back that jack shaft all the way back so we can try and see if we'll be able to line that sprocket up in the back there. All right, so there's a fair bit going on here, but pretty much the plan is that extra pulley down here, it's a 4-inch pulley. I've sort of squeezed that in the back there. I'm hoping to drive the supercharger and alternator off that. Hopefully the alternator will sort of squeeze in this vicinity there, and then we can have the supercharger mounted on top here somewhere. But everything is going to have to be mounted to the motor so that we can, when we adjust the tensions of this chain down here, it'll all stay nice and tight. So what the plan is to possibly knock the edge off that, so bring it down to the grub screw just on the bench grinder there, so I'll be able to get a little bit more clearance, and then space that sprocket out down the bottom there with this little one here. Alright, so ideally I'd have a lathe and we'd turn this pulley down, but I think we've got it pretty good. So it's running nice and true. So I've got the grub screw in there. I have cut a small little keyway just to grab on. So this actually fits pretty good. Now I've got a 1-inch spacer as well, so we'll slide that on there. That will space this pulley out nicely. And it actually gives a nice gap between the back of this and the rib on the V-belt. Alrighty guys, so I'm bloody wrapped with that. That looks really good. So that's given us our supercharger and alternator pulley now, spaced out. I was really worried about how we're going to do that. I actually did pull the starter, hand starter off there, so trying to see about other options, but we can always go to that if we ever had to. Now I'm not really impressed with the quality of these pulleys. As you can see, that one there's got a bit of run out to it. Yeah, I don't know if that's because of my spacer at the back there, but I'm going to order a new 5/16 shaft. I think it's 5/16 or 15mm shaft. I'm going to get it extra long with some threads on there and going to get another 14-2 sprocket for the back there just to match our one on the jack shaft, so everything's spinning nice and the same. But just for this video, I'm just going to get it all running. So that'll all be from Go Power Sports, so I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, also this didn't come with the crank bolt. This is actually a 10mm bolt, so I had to tap out the end of the crank because it was some weird size. So that worked out pretty well anyway. So I've drilled that spacer out as you guys saw. All right, so now that's all in there. I think it's time to just bite the bullet and move these jack shaft mounts. So I'm just thinking about cutting the tacks off at the back there and off the front and leaving those angle bits of plate, and I'll cut them off later when I fully weld this whole thing. But yeah, I think we'll just slide them back a little bit, just do what we did last time and weld that little piece in the middle and then mock it all up. Alright, so we've got those mounts all welded up there, they're all tacked in. So that shaft is actually got a fair bit of play in it, so we'll be able to move the shaft in and out as the set screws are on the inside, so we can have a little bit hanging out each end or whichever. So I've lined that sprocket up pretty well there. It's not really well there, but I'm going to move it around. Anyway, I'm going to take a little bit off that shim on the inside and maybe put a washer in behind that. Alright guys, so I've got an early start to the video late in the day, so just have to catch you guys tomorrow in the morning. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day here. I just tacked in the mounts for the jack shaft. Now we're making up some little nut blocks just for the inside of those jack shaft mounts, because trying to get a spatter in there is a real pain. So we'll be able to just wind the bolts straight in and tighten them up. So all I've got here is 50 mil flat, and that's actually 40 mil inside, so I have to cut 10 mil off, drill 2 holes in each, and then we can install them. Alright, check this out. So we've got the belt on, chains are all on, they're all lined up. I just thought I'd skip through it and just get it done. Now the exhaust is actually on there, and I've just sort of run a tech screw just holding on that muffler at the moment, but it's actually pretty solid without a mount. So I'm thinking about maybe just leaving it. I was gonna just go off the engine on the side bolt there, but I think that will probably work out pretty fine as it is. So I reckon we'll just chuck the body on, and I just want to see how true that little pulley there runs. And yeah, let's just go for a rip. All right, so as you can see, that pulley runs extremely true. Ah, well, we kind of got it bogged. Just that open diff. Oh, crap. Oh, man, this thing drives so much better. Whoa! Oh, yeah. All right, this setup is so much better than the last setup we had. So with this torque converter, it's locking in at 3 different speeds. So we get so much more torque, especially going up that hill that we got stuck at last week. Now we did get bogged only because of the open diff on this thing, and we're actually hung up underneath just on the suspension. So it was just hanging up on that little bar down there, and the diff was actually catching. But that's all right. It's actually going so much better than what it was before. And now that we got this thing all dialed in and running well, I actually want to jump off this and jump onto that Power Wheels build that we got. So I did pick up some 1-inch steel tubing. So I want to pull the body off that and maybe bend up just a couple of little rails and just see how that bender goes. All right, so I really wanted to get stuck into that supercharger, but actually moving all that jack shaft and putting that belt drive setup actually took me a couple of days to do. So I'm sort of tired of working on the buggy. I actually think we're gonna have to pull the governor off that engine and then run it and see how it goes first before we bolt that supercharger on. But we'll definitely be putting it on there, so definitely stay tuned for that, guys. But I just want to jump straight onto this little Power Wheels. I'm so excited to start this thing. So first thing I think we'll do, we'll start stripping off the wheels, and then we might strip some of the interior, take the seat out, and we might even slice the body. Now I do want to mock it up with just some little wheels under there too. I've got an old ATV here, we're going to use some rims off. Alright, so now it's mostly stripped out. We've actually gutted so much stuff out of it, all that plastic stuff. Obviously we're going to be putting a lot more weight in this thing. But I've got this old quad bike sitting here, so I'm not going to use any suspension or anything because it's all just Chinese junk. But I might pull these wheels off, I reckon, and just mock them up underneath just so we can see what this thing's going to look like. Best way to cut this thing would probably be down here and then down there, so we can still retain the wheel arch and still have our little doors because they do function. Oh, check this out. What an absolute weapon. So I've cut the floor out, Stressed at about 200mm and this thing already looks awesome. This is going to be a super fun build. Those quad bike tyres look massive for this. Now I'm going to be doing a live axle in the back, probably an intermediate jack shaft running to our engine. It's going to be clutch, hopefully 160cc or 190 maybe. Yeah guys, this thing's a tight squeeze, but it actually fits pretty good. Lost a wheel. Alright guys, I'm going to have to end this one here. I got a lot done in today's video. So the buggy is now driving and it's final, so I'm not going to do any more to it with that CVT or anything, so it's driving perfectly. So now we can actually start to mock up that supercharger and get it working. But next week's video, I think we'll jump onto that power wheels and we'll pull off the governor on the buggy and just see how that goes. But yeah, I do apologise guys. I did say in this week's video we would start to put that supercharger on, but it just took a lot more work than I thought. And a lot more expensive being with that new clutch that we've had to go for. But yeah, now we've got a pulley to aim everything at. We can mount up the alternator and supercharger, so definitely stay tuned for that. It'll definitely be happening very soon. And if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. It really helps this video get put out to suggested videos. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss anything. I'll see you guys in the next one.